They have names like Black Beauty Zucchini, Savoy Perfection Cabbage, and Turga Parsnip. They are heirloom or older vegetable and flower varieties, bred for specific traits that are no longer valued in commercially raised vegetables. There are hundreds of them, and the folks at the Southern Exposure Seed Exchange have been helping save and share their seeds since 1997 from their base in Louisa County.
Heirlooms have been selected over generations for characteristics, some of them not visible. It might be being resilient, that is, it does okay when it's wet, but it does extra good when it's dry. Or it's suited to a late season, which you have, here in Virginia, but say in New England where a lot of research, or California, the weather isn't quite like ours. And so heirlooms have been, and they were also selected at a time when people were looking more to flavor and nutrient density, storage capacity, other characteristics that are not necessarily what you select for the grocery store shelf. And we want to make sure that those genetics are available to us in the future.
Ira Wallace is a member of the Acorn Community Farm that coordinates the collection and sale of these heirloom seeds. Many are non-GMO or are organically produced, meeting a growing demand for specialty vegetables.
There are people who come here just because we have pretty old-fashioned flowers. There are people who, for health reasons, want to grow as much of their own food so they know exactly what went into the soil. There are people who are hardcore preppers. And, what we think is we're all Americans. We all value being in a country where you can make those choices independently.
The heirloom seed packets can be found at several stores in Central Virginia. The Seed Exchange has published a mail-order catalog for more than 20 years and now has a website where you can order online as well as pick up tips on how to plant and raise these varieties. Members of the Acorn community raise some of them themselves and buy others from farmers in Virginia and throughout the southeastern U.S. who raise the plants for seed. Collecting the seeds can be surprisingly low-tech, as simple as crushing dried okra pods and picking them up.
I might do some breaking apart of the pods by hand afterwards, but this is the main part of the process.
So we pack seeds in two different ways at our office here at Southern Exposure. We pack seeds by hand with scoops and tomato seeds by pinching out, little amounts of tomato seeds to put 0.16 grams in each packet, which is about 40 to 80 seeds in the case of tomatoes. And we also pack seeds by machine. We have a seed packing machine in the little room over there, and it packs much faster than a person packing by hand, but we basically only use it for packing runs of at least 200 packets.
The nice thing for the gardener is from then on, if they isolate that variety from other things it would cross with, they can save their own seeds. And it gives a bit, we live here in the country and we're sort of, homesteadery as well as having a seed company. And we like having that independence. And we think our customers do too. Even though most of them don't save a lot of seed, they often like to try one or two so that if times change and seeds are less available, they have that independence.
One local farmer who raises specialty seeds for the exchange is Edmund Frost. He's done that for years to pay the bills while he uses traditional plant breeding techniques to develop his own variety of butternut squash. It's taking him many seasons to raise a squash with the traits that he wants.
This variety here is called South Anna. It's named after the river here. And it's a variety I've bred over about 8 years. I took a regular butternut, a Waltham butternut, and I crossed it with a pumpkin from Florida to get more disease resistance into it. And have been selecting for shape and flavor and productivity and disease resistance during that time. So now it's a named variety, even though I'm still refining the last bit of the selection.
Crossbreeding any plant takes infinite patience. Frost could lose a year or more of progress if a trial doesn't work out. He spends a couple of weeks out of the year cross-pollinating the squash plants, and the rest waiting. Then comes harvest season and collecting the valuable seeds, which are not patented but sold only through the Seed Exchange. Again, sorting the seeds is surprisingly low tech. This air-powered seed cleaning machine is custom made in Oregon.
Some seed cleaners, they'll take half an hour to clean it out in between two different kinds of seeds, and this only takes a minute. And what it does is there's a blower over here that blows wind through here, and the seeds come out of the hopper and they drop down here. The wind comes across and it blows the lightweight seeds out of the way. So you end up with just the heavier weight seeds.
WALLACE says the gardening boom of 2020 is expected to carry over into the new year, and they'll do their best to meet the demand.
In March, we saw our sales double and then triple for the week on week, and it was just crazy, and it continued not at that highest level, but we've probably been selling twice as much each month since then, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop. People are getting excited about gardening, and and we had been growing, as I said, from a small catalog with 86 varieties to a larger catalog with over 700 in our catalog and 800 on our web store. So yeah, I would say people are excited. And if you see all of these lovely greens out here, you can see why. I mean, this is December. Granted, this was an unusually warm fall, but we have a row cover to protect them from cold, and we haven't even had to cover them, and they're still looking mighty fat and sassy.
Summer vegetables are still the stars of the garden scene, but WALLACE says if you want to stretch your season into colder months, greens and root vegetables are your best choices. Even if you've never gardened before, they have plenty of tips on their website.
If you're a beginning gardener, what I say is a small garden, well tended, will yield more than a large garden gone to ruin. So, plant a small amount of a number of things, take good care of them, and you'll be surprised.
Southern Exposure Seed Exchange started as an offshoot of a similar program in Iowa with only 86 heirloom vegetables. From that small seed, an ambitious local company has taken root with hundreds of plant varieties with a history of thriving in the Mid-Atlantic region. It's a testimony to the value of hard work and patience, qualities that every farmer values. In Louisa County, Virginia, I'm Norm Hyde.